Ocean, 11 y
Bow, bow. Yeah, what up, YouTube? Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, yeah, I'm on here 3 days in a row. We gonna be talking about it. Y'all see the title of the stream? Y'all see the title of the stream? Hey, shout out to everybody who was in my stream the last couple of days. We had some pretty decent conversations. I didn't get a whole bunch of chats, but you know what? I know I'm new to the area. I'm new to the space. I'm fairly new to doing live streams, but also, I'm jumping into the sports realm, and I know that, some people, they just hop in, they hop out, whatever. But if you are watching, welcome. Thank you for joining. Please make sure you hit the like button. That's free. Make sure you throw your thoughts in the chat. That's also free. Let's talk about some things today. So we're just getting started. If you have joined, I see I got somebody watching. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Curated Topics, and it is brought to you by Curated Sense LLC. Now, before I get started, we about to do Candle of the Evening. You know how we do every time. I got the Hornitos bottle back. This is my peppermint candle. I'm feeling like I want it to be fresh tonight, so I'm about to light that on up. Get that started, get the space smelling nice and good, as we always do. That's how I like to start it off. You know what I'm saying? That's how I like to start it off. But y'all see the title of the stream. Woo! Some stuff went down today in the NBA. This is a crazy offseason. I gotta say, this is a crazy offseason. Excuse me, I just bumped the mic. This is a crazy offseason, and I'm going to be looking at my phone here and there. I know, stuff doesn't go down at night, but I'm trying to catch all the information. But this has been a crazy week in the NBA. I am going to start where I left off, but we are going to talk about the Jaylen Brown trade tonight. We are going to talk about some of the other free agency pickups. And we still wondering, where's LeBron James going to go? But man, all this player movement, whoo. And then the Lakers over there, they making some moves. LeBron said, hey, I'm out. Y'all go ahead and do what y'all going to do. And they got to moving. Okay? They got to moving. They made some key signings. They might be scary next year. They might be scary next year. They're going to be a high powered offense. But let's hop right into it. Let's hop right into it. What we got here coming from Shams. So, coming from Shams, we have Tim Hardaway Jr. signing with the Miami Heat. Now, I talked about this yesterday, but I think it got made it was made official yesterday, and I mentioned it yesterday. But you know, I think this is a good pickup for them. He is a quote unquote sharpshooter. I would call him a little bit streaky, but I think this is a good pickup for him. Tim Hardaway Jr. is good when you need him to be. He is very good when you need him to be. He knows how to come in the clutch. Pause. That was crazy. That was wild. Excuse me. Mega pause. I think this is going to be a good pickup for them. I think this is going to put some shooting around Giannis and around Bam. They still need to make some more moves, though, because ever since the Giannis trade, man, the league has gone insane with free agency, with trades, and all of that. And we are about to get into it tonight. We're going to talk some more about it. So here we got Bones Highland. He will be returning to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I like this move. He was a great rotational player for them last season. And I think him and Ayo Dosunmu, in the comment here, it says they're going to be the twin turbos. But, you know, that's for real. They are going to be looked at as the two energy guys to be very productive for them coming off the bench. I could see this being a low-key career year for Bones Highland. There's going to be a lot expected of him. A lot. And so I'm hoping the best for him. But I think this was a good move for Minnesota. They need those backup guys. Now, you know, now that they got a legit point guard in LaMelo, now it's really about to get spooky because, you know, you can have Bones come in and pair with Melo. You can have Ayo Dosunmu come in and pair with Melo. Or if you need to sit Ant and LaMelo at the same time, you now have two high-energy guys who'll be able to hold their own in that situation. So I'm looking forward to this. I am looking forward to this and that team. I think they're going to do pretty well. Now, further news going on with my Cavs. We have decided to let go of Keon Ellis. He will leave the Cavaliers and he is headed to the Brooklyn Nets. Good on Keon because he's about to get paid. Here's what I don't understand. I'm not going to talk too long on this because I already talked about it in some other videos when I talked about the Cavs. But what I don't understand with the Cavs, right? Y'all keep making these like mid-season trades. Y'all keep making these trades and things like that just to release people by the end of the year. You're not building a team, and you're certainly not building a team for a championship in doing those sorts of things. Now, I understand they trying to get LeBron. They trying to get LeBron. They want to make a push at a championship. They need somebody like LeBron, right? They're like, LeBron will help get us over the hump. But LeBron is like 485 years old. This ain't LeBron of the old. You know what I'm saying? This ain't LeBron of yesteryear. This is like, did anybody see LeBron's photo when he was like on the golf course? His beard was so gray, it was crazy work. I don't know if this is going to be a large enough photo. But let's see. I'm about to show y'all. Look at this. Look at this. This was LeBron during the season. He had the charcoal black number 23 popping. And then him on the golf course, my dude up here looking like Black Santa Claus. Now, I'm not talking about his abilities or nothing like that. I'm not saying he can't get the job done. What I'm saying is like, we're banking on a 41-year-old LeBron James to get us over the hump and into the championship. That, once again, I'm not doubting his abilities, nothing like that. I'm not throwing too much shade. I'm just making some jokes. But like, huh? We need to be building a squad, not just, hey, LeBron, come and carry us again. He can no longer do that. And we need to be realistic about that. And we don't know where he's going to go because there are other teams interested. He's got like 12 teams making bids for him. Now, we're quote unquote among the top, but he's got 11 other teams trying to get him. And here's one of them. Now, this would be spooky. LeBron James is getting interest from the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they have legitimate interest in acquiring him. This would be spooky. LaMelo and LeBron. Now, first of all, those post-game interviews about to be gold. Those post-game interviews about to be gold. I mean, we gonna be laughing our asses off. That shit's gonna be funny as hell. LeBron is a character in and of himself. Now, you get him around Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, we all know he don't give a fuck. He don't care about nothing. Anthony Edwards cares about winning, and that's about it. And that's fine. And then you get LaMelo. And LaMelo really don't care about nothing. LaMelo care about his chickens. These post-game interviews are going to be crazy. Now, do I hope LeBron goes there? Absolutely not. I actually hope LeBron does come back to the Cavs. I really do. But I just think it's interesting to see how many teams are like, wait, LeBron's available? Let's do it. 41 or not, let's do it. It says right here that the Cavs, the Warriors, and the Heat really stand out when it comes to a pitch for LeBron. Now, that would be interesting if he went back to Miami. That's where he was able to get over the hump, get himself a championship. He can rectify some things with Pat Riley. Pat Riley can give him his cookies back, even though they about 14 years old at this point. But you know what I'm saying. Him and Pat Riley can work that thing out. He can go back with Eric Spoelstra. That might be cool. I still want to see him with the Cavs. I'm not going to lie to you. I still want to see him with the Cavs. Now, as far as the Golden State Warriors, I think that might be dead. And here's why. For that to work, they wanted to get Anthony Davis, and the Wizards are not interested. The Wizards are not interested in giving up Anthony Davis. They feel like right now they are building a squad that will make it to the playoffs. And the Wizards have actually entered the chat as also wanting LeBron James. I find that to be interesting. I was watching Club 520 earlier, and they were talking about how this trade got denied. They were talking about how the Washington Wizards were like, nah, we taking Anthony Davis off the trade block. Because they started to see like, okay, we're getting some people, so maybe we can enter the chat on this. And like I said, I find that to be kind of interesting. I find that to be very interesting because what if we get this? What if we get this in the league? And as I was watching Club 520, Jeff Teague and them, I don't remember who said it. It might have been B Hen. It might have been Jeff. I don't know, but one of them was like, "Oh yeah, LeBron go to Washington just so he can prove that he can do it better than Mike at 41." And I'm like, hey, yo, first of all, y'all got to chill. But second of all, I can see that. I could see that. I could see LeBron doing something like that, and then him going to Washington. Mike averaged, I think, like 20 in Washington, and then LeBron get there, and he like, well, I got to average 23 just to say I'm better. And I averaged 23. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to add that to his GOAT resume. Like, well, I went where Mike went at 41, and I did it better. Now, imagine if he got a chip there. Let me not put that out there. Because I still want him to come to the Cavs. I can't just be putting that type of stuff out there. But I still think that would be hilarious. So, who knows? But, man, this stuff is getting interesting. I got to say. Like, all these teams who are showing interest in LeBron, this is getting real interesting. And I think that I think it's just fun to watch, in my personal opinion. It is just super fun to watch. All right. We are going to go right here. This is what some of the analysts think about the LeBron free agency. According to Dave, I'm not going to do your last name, bro. McManaman. Dave McManaman. There we go. According to Dave, the only place that accepts him, embraces him, celebrates him for everything that he is Cleveland, Ohio. And you know what? He's correct on that. We might have burned your jerseys when you left the first time, but we went out there and we made new ones when you came back. And I ain't gonna lie, your jersey will never get burned again because you got us a championship. You got us the first championship in what, like 56 years, 50 something. It was a long time. And you kept your word. You removed the moniker of LeBron James in my eyes. And you did what you were supposed to do. And you know what? That first championship, it was so surreal because, first of all, we won it in the most dramatic fashion. We was down 3-1, came back and won. And I guarantee you, everybody in Cleveland was like, damn, man, we just lost this. After being down 3-1, we like, I don't know how we going to do it. But you know what? They didn't give up and they got that chip. And so I think it would be only right if they came back and got the chip again. It would only be right. Now, it would have been cool if he did it this year because this year was the 10-year anniversary. But whatever. Beggars can't be choosers. But it'd be cool. Hey, LeBron come back here and we win another chip. I'm going to be outside. I know there's probably 1.3 other millions of people who going to be outside. Y'all thought New York was popping. It's going to be popping here. We get another chip. Oh, yeah. It's going to be popping. We'll see, though. We'll see. So I'm going to move on. We got some other news to cover. And I promise I'm going to get to the good stuff. But I got to, I'm trying to draw in the audience. So that they can, see. And I want to hear y'all. Man, drop some comments in the chat. I want to talk about this because it's getting crazy. It's really getting crazy. Like, this free agency this year, this is probably one of the craziest free agency years that we have seen, especially because everything is happening so quick. Like, free agency just started. And we've seen trades. We've seen multi people pickups. We've seen a lot. So y'all tell me what y'all think is the best move. Any of my NBA fans out there, you tell me what you think the best move has been so far. And, we're going to talk about the Jaylen Brown situation. We're going to talk about the Lakers. We're going to talk about all that stuff. I'm going to go through all the others. But, yeah, we're going to get to the good stuff. But right now, So let's talk about Phoenix. Phoenix just got Luke Kennard. Now I don't really know. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't think it makes Phoenix much better. They're just kind of adding guards on top of guards on top of guards on top of guards and not really addressing their issues. They still don't really have a point guard all like that. I don't think Devin Booker wants to play point guard anymore. I don't know who their center is. I couldn't tell you. I don't know who their power forward is. Couldn't tell you. Excuse me. They need to figure something out. And I'm super struggle streaming. But they need to figure something out. They need to figure something out. So, I don't know. Maybe the pickup is because he's a sharpshooter. They got something. But who knows? Who knows? Moving on, though. The Los Angeles Clippers have let go of Bogdan Bogdanovich, and he agreed to a deal with the Houston Rockets. Now, this puts some shooting with the Rockets. He's also a pretty good guy coming off the bench. Sometimes he can be streaky. Sometimes he can be real streaky, but what I like about Bogey is when he's on, he is on. And I mean, he is not afraid to shoot. Not at all. So I think this is a good pickup for them. They're building up that bench. They're building up a team because last year they didn't have it. And you couldn't keep, KD on the floor long enough. He's no spring chicken. So you can't just have him playing 40 plus minutes. You know what I'm saying? So we shall see. Now, I'm going to move on to what the Cavs did. The Cavs have released Dean Wade. He's going off to Philly. I talked a little bit about that yesterday. I talked about how streaky Dean is. He gives you the effort. He gives you the effort on defense. But his offense is just too damn streaky. So, hey, I'm wishing you the best of luck, brother. But we got to make room for one LeBron James. We need to make room for LeBron. So, you got to be gone. Sorry. Other news. We talked about how the Toronto Raptors are finalizing a deal for Kawhi Leonard. The East about to get spooky, y'all. Excuse me. It is hot in my studio right now. So I got the big man towel on deck. I got the big man towel on deck. And I'm trying to move fast so that I can get to, talking about what y'all want to talk about for real. But Timberwolves and Pistons, they tried to get Kawhi and it just didn't work out. And the Raptors, they got it done, man. They got it done. So we're going to see Kawhi back with the Raptors. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be super interesting. So, we got Norman Powell to the Chicago Bulls. Now, this is interesting. I'm not sure. So, according to Shams and ESPN, Miami did not want to continue to pay Norman Powell. I think that he earned it. He played very well last year. He's been getting buckets the last couple of years. Even when he was with the Clippers, he has been getting buckets, and he has worked his way from being that backup guy. Wasn't he in Portland? He was like the backup for CJ and Dame, and then he has worked his way into being a legit starter. And so, I don't know. I don't know if that was the right move for Miami. They need shooters, and he is one guy who is going to shoot the ball and shoot the ball pretty well. So I'm not sure what they was thinking on that one, but he is going to the Bulls, and on the Bulls, he is going to get his chance to shine because they ain't got nothing else. So we're going to see. We're going to see what he's able to do. Shout out to him. Hey, we're going to keep it moving. Next, we got Rui Hachimura signing with the Spurs. Now, I like this move. Rui Hachimura is a big guy. He is like 6'9", 6'8", something like that. So he is going to be able to fill that forward position. Whether you got him at small forward or even playing power forward, that's going to be a nice role for him to be in. I think that's going to work out well for him. I really do. I think that's going to work out well for him. He can learn from somebody like, one of the veterans like Harrison Barnes, stuff like that. And there's some more guys who are coming to the Spurs as well. They also picked up Tobias Harris from the Pistons. So they are trying to figure out, how they can be kind of like OKC. They're like, hey, we want guys who can score the ball. We want guys who can play well, defend, and all of that. And we want guys who are going to complement Wemby so that Wemby isn't doing it all. Because that was one of the big things last year. They did not have anybody who was like, Luke Cornett, he's all right. But he was not somebody who you could play next to Wemby who was going to take some of that load off of him. Pause. Super pause. Hey, yo. This might be the pause episode tonight. I done said some crazy things. I'm sorry. Okay. Next up, we got Nikola Vucevic. And he decided to sign back with the Orlando Magic. Now, this is going to be interesting, too. I wonder if he is close to retiring. Does he want to go back to his first team to end his career on out there? Because I know he's been plagued with some injuries lately. When he left the Bulls, he was kind of injured. I didn't really see him play for the Celtics because he was injured. But, I wonder what the decision to go back to Orlando was. But also, that kind of makes them a little bit better. Vucevic is a legit center. At one point in time, he was probably in the top 10 there in terms of centers. At one point in time. I can't say he just stayed there. But at one point in time, he was pretty good. I like that pickup for them. I think they re-signed Jonathan Isaac on a 1-year deal. They restructured his contract. They got Wendell Carter Jr. still. They've got some pieces. Are they about to do a whole lot? Who knows? Because it's still the Magic. But I like this pickup. For them. All right, we got Mike Conley. Mike Conley will be going to the Boston Celtics. Mike, I don't know how much playing time he's going to see. This is going to be interesting. This is 20th season. I think he should go back to Memphis, who drafted him. But they're not going to do a whole lot. Mike is still trying to get himself a ring, so he wants to be on that team where he can, produce a little bit and produce just enough and then hopefully get a ring. So, hey, I ain't mad at him. I am not mad at him. This was some big news. This next one is some low-key big news. The Detroit Pistons have picked up John Collins. Now, I like this pickup for them. You're filling the hole that was left by Tobias Harris and Isaiah Stewart. You got another person who Cade Cunningham can pass the ball to. He's definitely going to get a chance to throw more lobs. If Jalen Duren decides to stay, they can be a two-man tandem where they're passing each other the ball. Pause. Super pause. Whew. Yeah, this might be the pause stream tonight. I might have to rename the stream. But I like this move. And if Duren doesn't stay, they still have a legit forward who's going to produce at a high level for them. He can also stretch the floor a little bit. He's super athletic and jump out the gym and dunk on you. But also he's got a little bit of a 3 game as well. So he can play that trailing position. He can hit some corner threes. I think that's a good pickup for Detroit. And it makes me wonder, all right, Cavs, what y'all doing? Because there's some pieces that are moving off the board, and we need to pick something up. Because we don't need to just bank on LeBron coming here. Because y'all remember what happened last time. Last time we ended up burning some jerseys because we was mad. We was big mad. The decision, that's what I'm talking about. All right. So next we have, next we have Mitchell Robinson going to the Boston Celtics. Now this is interesting. I don't know why the Knicks didn't keep him. Maybe it was the hack a Mitch. You know, all these years he really didn't get any better at free throws. Or maybe they just didn't want to pay him. I don't understand that because Cat, Jalen Brunson, and some of the other players said that they would take pay cuts to keep this squad together. And he really, really did produce for them. He got them offensive rebounds when they needed it. He played extraordinary defense. You know, he held it down for Cat when Cat was out. So, like, I don't understand that much. But good on him. He is now about to be on a team where his talents are going to get put to use as well. He is going to be very productive for the Boston Celtics. They're going to look to him to keep securing those offensive rebounds. And that's going to be important. That is going to be important because they are a high three shooting team, which means they're going to have a lot of rebounds for you to get, a lot of offensive ones. So, hey, man, keep doing your job. And he got paid. He got paid like 3 years, $47.4 million. He's getting paid. So, hey, you leverage that championship, brother. Leverage that. Use your power. Do that thing. Congratulations. Hey, good on Mitchell Robinson. We're going to move on. So, here we are to talk about the first. Well, I don't know if it was the first edition, but in addition to the Lake Show, they have signed Colin Sexton, agreed to a 2-year deal, $19 million, and he will be a Los Angeles Laker. Now, it's safe to assume Colin is about to be coming off the bench. That's something he hasn't done, I don't think, in a while. Maybe he came off the bench in Utah. But where was he at before that? I mean, after that, because maybe it was Charlotte. Something like that. I don't remember. But he will be coming off the bench for one Luka and or Austin Reeves. And you know what? Shout out to Colin, man. You made it onto a squad. First of all, they probably about to be a starting five of all white guys. They really dug in and went for the Great White Hope. And I'm not mad at them. They made one other signing. Well, they made a couple other signings today. But along the trains of the Great White Hope, they now have Walker Kessler from Utah. Signed him for a 4-year, $130 million deal. Damn. That's a lot of money. We talk about more than $25 million per year. I don't know him well enough to know if that's accurate in what his, skills might allot. But Walker Kessler is getting the bag. He is getting the bag, boy. So he must have did something right last year. He must have played well last year. I'm about to look up his stats. Let's see. What was his stats last season? What? Oh, that's the 24-25. No. I want 25-26. Because that didn't make no sense. Huh. So from what I'm reading, His stats was okay. Well, they wasn't all that. So why is he getting 130? 14.4 points per game, 10.8 points. 10.8 rebounds per game, 1.8 blocks per game. That's not bad. Yeah, what? I don't know. He did something, but they definitely think Walker Kessler is the great white. He is now their starting five. I think is now what, three or four white guys, and no shade on them, no shade on them at all. Because you know what, talent is talent. When you're good, you're good. Luka Doncic is probably. Some might argue that it's Shea, but Luka's probably the best offensive player in the league right now. He led the league in scoring last year. He has led the league in scoring multiple years at a time. And then you got Austin Reeves. They just signed him back. And now you got Walker Kessler. And so, you know, maybe the Lakers are on to something. I will say this. This is about to be spooky. This is about to be real spooky. They're going to be scary from an offensive standpoint. Oops, I'm struggle streaming, y'all. I keep doing that tonight. It's cool. Bear with me. But they are about to be scary. This is probably going to be one of the better offensive groups. The Lakers might have the highest rated offense next year. They might. But there's one other team that also might. And we have yet to see what they're going to do. We have yet to see what they are going to do. But there's one other team, and we're going to talk about it, who they got something to say as well. But y'all tell me what y'all think. Do you think the Walker Kessler pickup was a good move for the Lakers? Honestly, I think it was. They have, once again, LeBron has left, and they got money to spend. I forget. It was Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins was on ESPN today, and he said the Lakers the Lakers really listen to that new Young Miami song, Spin That Shit, because they sure did spend that money to make sure that they got them some old players. They sure did. They said, oh, LeBron's gone, we about to spin that shit. Hey, more power to them. All right, I'm going to skip a couple because there are. I'm going to get straight to it, man. We going to talk about the breaking news of the day. We're going to talk about the breaking news of the day. And I want to turn this into a teaching lesson just a little bit. See, not that it's a bad thing, right? Because I actually think this trade is going to work out well for him. I'm talking about Jaylen Brown. Right now. I think that the trade is going to work out well for him. But I will say this. You get up there, you get on your podcast and all of that. Excuse me right quick. Hold on. All right, my bad. I had to use the big boy towel. Hold on. But you get on stream, right? And you sitting there, you talking about your performance against the 76ers, who y'all just faced in the playoffs. And, you talking about, oh, well, they played good, but they was some professional floppers. Joel Embiid was flopping. All I did was put my shoulder up, and now he's on the ground and doing all this talking. And now you about to play with him. How ironic is that? Now you on the team with the person you was just talking trash about. You on the team with the person you was just talking shit about. You was just talking all that shit about Joel Embiid and how he be flopping, and you didn't think the playoffs was fair, and you just had the best year out of your career, and you mad it got cut short. And guess what? And now you got traded. You got traded to the 76ers. You got traded for Paul George and some picks. And now you going to be right there with the same dude who you was just talking trash about. Now, with this trade, I kind of like this trade. I thought that Paul George needed to go somewhere else. I really did. I didn't think that Philly was the best fit for him. It seemed kind of like, I don't know, he just did that after being with the Clippers. I don't know. I really don't know why he even left the Clippers, to be honest. I think he just, at this point, he's like ring chasing. He's a journeyman. Hey, it is what it is. But this is going to work for both teams. Now, who won the trade? That's what I'm going to ask you all. Who y'all think won the trade? Throw it in the chat. Come on, somebody hop in the chat. Who y'all think won this trade? My personal opinion, I'm going to have to go with the 76ers. They unloaded Paul George, pause, and super pause. Yeah, this is the pause stream. I'm about to rename it. Okay. I had to rename the stream because I done said pause too many times. But what is it that we're looking at? We are looking at Jaylen Brown, younger, same. They're not the same height, but, virtually similar players. Jaylen Brown and Paul George, right? And, Jaylen Brown, he's coming off the best year of his career. He's coming off the best year of his career. So, with that being said, he is going to want to keep that going. He's a lot younger than Paul George. He's already seasoned. He's got his championship. He's got a finals MVP. And so now him being on a team with Tyrese Maxey, who is a true point guard. You got budding VJ Edgecombe. And now Jaylen Brown can actually play the position that I think he was meant for, which is the small forward. He's about 6'5", 6'6", very strong. Excuse me. And there's not a whole lot of other players at that position who can really guard him. Most of the other small forwards, if they're his size, they're not as strong. And then if they're taller than him, they're not as fast. So he's either going to be able to get around him or power through him. And that's going to be interesting to see. That's going to be interesting to see, especially when you got a speedster like Tyrese Maxey, who's already bringing the ball down at like 100 miles a minute. You know what I'm saying? So, once again, this is going to be very, very interesting to see. And I want to put this out there, and Shams put it out there as well in agreement. None of this is Jaylen Brown's fault. None of this is Jaylen Brown's fault. Jaylen Brown, he now has a bone to pick with the Celtics. They traded him after he had his best year. He was in the MVP conversations. People were up there talking about, yeah, he Batman. He is Batman. No one expected the Celtics to make it as far as they did. No one thought they were about to be number 2 in the East. We were like, oh, this is a wash season. Jason Tatum is out. Oh, it's over with. And Jaylen Brown played his ass off and made them what they were. Now, when they got to the playoffs, they weren't able to keep it going. But I would argue that with Jason Tatum coming back so soon, it kind of threw off the team chemistry. Here it is. When people mess their Achilles up, they usually sit the whole year. And even from jump, Jason Tatum was like, I ain't sitting the whole year. I'll be back. Bro, sit the whole year. Because then what ended up happening? He definitely injured something. I don't know if he re-injured the Achilles, but he didn't play that much in the playoffs. He definitely didn't play in that 76er series. So here it is. You come back, and now you need your touches. You need to get your points. You need this and you need that. But then come playoff time, we can't rely on you anymore. Now you done messed up what we had going on in terms of team chemistry. We was winning games without you. I'd be mad as hell if I'm Jaylen Brown. And watch what he do next season. You traded away a guy who definitely could have won MVP last year. Definitely. He if it, they always gonna put Luka in there when Luka's leading the league in scoring. And I think he might have been removed because he might have missed the number of games or something like that. Then you had Cade Cunningham, who was playing out of his mind last year. But Jaylen Brown was right there in the conversation. You had Jalen Brunson as well, Shea, Joker, Wemby. Jaylen Brown, now, I think people was, pause, I think people was kind of glazing Wemby for MVP last year. Now, Wemby played well. He had a great season. To me, watching the games, like, shout out to Cameron, off it is what it is, off the eye test, I can't say that Wemby was an MVP candidate last year. Now, if you was to say Luka, yeah, Luka led the league in scoring. He was balling. Yes. Shea, he won it. So, yes. Joker, yes. But you got to put Jaylen Brown in that conversation. You have to. He led this Boston Celtics team to a second seed, and they ain't have nobody else. I mean, they had, Derek White, but like Derek White. Was Derek White even an all-star? And this is no shade on Derek White, but I'm talking about the performance of Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown was killing last year. He was killing. He was balling his ass off. So if I'm Jaylen Brown, one, I'm going to be mad, but at the same time, and we know Jaylen Brown, he's going to use this as motivation, and he's going to make the Celtics eat those words and actions. He didn't ask to be traded. And the Celtics succumbed to the pressure from the media. I'll say it. I ain't scared to say it. The Celtics succumbed to the pressure of the media. Because you can't even play the what have you done for me lately game. You can't play the what have you done for me lately game. Because what did he do for you lately? He was a damn MVP candidate. He had an MVP caliber season. That's what he did for you lately. And y'all did him like this. That just goes to show you, man, this business is a cruel game. I'm talking about this man had the best season that he has ever had for this team. And they said, yeah, but we could get Giannis. Your best season, your almost 30 points per game. Hold on, I'm about to look up Jaylen Brown stats. Hold on. But your almost 30 points per game, sorry. Like what? Oh, I don't want this image. Go away. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm struggle streaming. But if I'm Jaylen Brown, 28.7 points per game. And y'all got rid of that for Paul George. And this is no shade on Paul George. When the last time Paul George averaged 28 a game? When the last time? I'm going to look up Paul George stats from last year. When the last time Paul George averaged 28 a game? It might have been, what, when he was in OKC with Russ? Maybe. Last season, he averaged 17.3. So, if I'm the Celtics, I trade away 10 plus points per game, 10 and a half, because I couldn't get Giannis. I don't think Giannis averaged 27 a game last season. Okay, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Okay, Giannis was at 27.6, but Jaylen Brown, 27.8. And I mean, I know I'm arguing over 0.2 here, but like they averaged the same. And you mean to tell me, oh, okay, well we got to trade for Giannis? Sorry, brother. And then when you don't get him, you trade him for Paul George? And once again, no disrespect to Paul George. I think Paul George is a great player. But what? What are we doing here? Hey, shout out to Aaron Animal. He is in the chat with me. Oh, I'm struggle streaming. I'm always struggle streaming. It's all good, though. Shout out to Aaron Animal. Yeah, everybody go hit that like button for me. I know we got like 5 people in here right now, but hit the like button for me. Let me know if this is your cup of tea, and if it's not, oh, we got 3 people. Whatever. But yeah, hit that like button for me. But also, let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think. So, Aaron Animal, I don't know if you know. I don't know if you're familiar with who Jaylen Brown is. He plays for the Boston Celtics. He is now traded to the Philadelphia 76ers for Paul George and 2 picks. And I'm talking about how crazy this trade was. I'm talking about how crazy this trade was. Once again, Jaylen Brown had his best season last year, 27.8 points per game, and they traded him for Paul George. They only traded him. Okay, you playing Resident Evil? Okay, all right. Are you gonna stream it? Are you streaming it now? You streaming the Resident Evil? If so, I might have to come and watch that. You know, I like pause, but I like when you play the horror games. I like watching those. The jump scares be amazing. I love that. If you don't know, now you know. My boy, he be streaming the games. That's Aaron Animal. This is the shameless plug. Y'all go and check him out. Okay, you off it right now. All right, I got you. Well, I'll be tuning in next Wednesday or something. It's wild. I might have to give it a try, man. I might have to play. I might have to play that. But yeah, so Jaylen Brown got traded. And here's the thing. Oh, you know, anytime, brother. I'm always gonna plug. I'm always gonna plug my bros. But we have Jaylen Brown getting traded for basically peanuts at this point, because Paul George, he ain't what he used to be. And maybe he can get back to that, but he's not going to do that necessarily in Boston. You know, it is now Jason Tatum's team, and there is no question about whose team it is. But with Paul George, where does he fall in the pecking order for who's getting the ball? Is he going to be second? I don't really think that he should be second, especially with his play off of last year. Or is Derek White going to be second? And then, are you making Paul George be the third option? How's that about to work? I don't think we've seen Paul George be the third option since like his rookie season. So once again, how is all this about to work? I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. But if I am Jaylen Brown, I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm mad that I got traded. I'm mad that I was in the Giannis trade talks. And that's what made Boston make this goofy ass trade. This trade is low key goofy. And, you know, shout out to Club 520 again. Jeff Teague, he talked about it. He was like, you know, it sucks because now you kind of have to trade him because you put him in the trade talks. And you know he's not a guy who's about to necessarily just stay quiet. He's not going to take this very well. So you put him in the trade talks for getting Giannis. Giannis goes somewhere else. And then you succumb to the media. The Celtics succumbed to the media. And here's how we know. Because all the media said beforehand, oh, well, they put him in the trade talks, so they got to trade him now. And that's exactly what they did. And then not only that, but you trade him to an in-conference like rival. These are the people who just whooped your ass in the playoffs. You literally tried to turn him into like Kevin Durant when Kevin Durant left OKC and went to the Warriors. And it's not Jaylen Brown's fault at all because he didn't ask for any of this. He didn't ask to be traded. He didn't request a trade. If I'm Jaylen Brown, I'm like, in my mind, I just had my best season. I'm ready to come back for next year. Fuck you mean I'm getting traded? What are we doing? What are we doing here? So this is the craziness of the league. This is the craziness of the business. But you now know where your bread is buttered if you Jaylen Brown. And I'm not gonna lie. I think he's about to come back with a vengeance. I think he's about to come back with a vengeance. Oh, y'all called me Batman when I was in Boston. But now my jersey is black. I'm about to put on the mask. I'm about to really be Batman. It's about to get spooky. I want Jaylen to guard Jason Tatum when they play too. I talked about this last night. I said, hey, I think it's funny that LeBron left the Lakers after the Lakers guaranteed Bronny his contract. So I was like, yeah, I hope LeBron goes somewhere in the same conference, and I want him to dunk on Bronny, and I want a poster of that. I'm putting that poster up right back here. It might replace Chance, and it's going to be LeBron dunking on Bronny's head. The other poster I want Jaylen Brown either locking up Jason Tatum, pause, or dunking on Jason Tatum. I need it. Somebody from the Celtics. I know Jaylen Brown. I know he's about to turn up. Because they just insulted him on the highest level. It doesn't make any sense to me how you can trade somebody directly after they have their best season playing for you. Not only that, carrying the team when the quote-unquote franchise player or the other franchise player goes down with a season-ending injury. They were projected to be like 10 or 11 in the East. They wasn't about to do shit. And this man put his Batman cape on and carried them to the number 2 spot in the East. And then the Celtics trade him away to the team that they lost to in the playoffs. Make that make sense. Now, I did say at the beginning, the only irony that I see, the only thing that I can say towards Jaylen Brown where I'm like, ooh, it's kind of your fault, is the fact that he was talking all that shit about the 76ers and Joel Embiid after they lost. That's the only thing. And I would say, hey, God is funny in that way. God is funny in that way. He will put you in your place. Jaylen Brown's up here, man. Joel Embiid be flopping, man. Well, you about to play with him. Better learn some techniques. Better learn how to flop, brother. You gonna need to. This is the other question. I talked about this yesterday, that the Dallas Mavericks were looking to get Joel Embiid. Does this mean that Philly takes him off the trade block? Does this mean that Philly takes him off the trade block? Is it one more year for the process? Is it one more year for the process? Now, y'all tell me what y'all think. Where do you think that Philly ends up in the rankings this year? With the pieces that they have, they've got Jaylen Brown, they've got Tyrese Maxey, they got VJ Edgecombe, so far they have Joel Embiid. I forget who else signed with them. I know they signed somebody else. But what you think they're going to do? What number y'all got them at? I'm thinking I kind of want to be bold and say they could probably take that number 2 spot. They're going to take that number 2 spot, if not number 1. I think it all depends on the chemistry and how they play, how they start the season. They could easily take that number 1 or number 2 spot, though. Easy. So, in honor of Jaylen Brown, I'm going to play some Jaylen Brown highlights. These are all of his accolades that he has in Boston. Finals MVP, NBA Finals, all that. Also, Eastern Conference MVP. That's the Larry Bird Trophy that they give out at the end of the Eastern Conference Finals. I think, I'm not even going to get into that, but how can you trade that away? You know what I'm saying? How can you trade that away? How is this not your franchise player? You got Jason Tatum, rightfully so. Okay, I'm not saying he's any slouch at all. But you see the hardware. You see whose name is attached to the hardware. How do you trade that away? I don't understand. But let's get some highlights. What a season he's had. Bang out. Woo! Can't wait to see him do that on the Celtics. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, balling. Get off me. Bang. On your head, boy. All right, I don't like this clip. It's on Cleveland. I ain't like that one. That was on Cleveland. I ain't like that one. How do you trade that away? I don't understand. I mean, and that was just from last year. He was balling. I don't get it. I don't understand at all. Let's see what Shams got to say.
They offered Jaylen Brown and 2 unprotected first-round picks for Giannis. They missed out, but ever since then, you know what's been interesting? They didn't just stop the conversations there. They continued to have trade talks, and by today, they were actively shopping, full-blown shopping Jaylen Brown around the league, trying to get teams' best offers in. My understanding is Jaylen Brown, throughout all this, never requested a trade. He never asked out of Boston. This was all the Celtics. We'll learn more. This is obviously a very developing story, but Jaylen Brown is leaving the Boston Celtics. He will now be in Kevin Nagandi's with their 76ers. They offered Jaylen Brown.
So as you can see, according to Shams, and Shams is the new Woj, so we know it's real. This Jaylen Brown situation is pretty much all on the Celtics. Now, I know he's a very vocal guy. He hopped on his little podcast and all of that. And I would say to these guys, man, if you in season, especially if you're, of like a Jaylen Brown's caliber, Paul George, don't be podcast P. Don't be podcasting out here, man. Because you never know what it is that you say that might get you in some trouble. I'll just put it that way. I don't know if y'all know this, but like this was either last year or the season before. No, it was the season before last. Dennis Schroeder got traded like 4 or 5 times in the same day after he made a comment. And it's like, I get it. You guys are trying to use your platform. You're trying to bring awareness or whatever it is. But you're also working under a business. So there's some things that you can't say, especially if you're talking about the business that you work for. So, when you out here podcasting and you talking about, he flopped and the refs can't see shit, he flopped 20 times and they never called it. All that vocal stuff, that could be what got him gone. The Celtics could be like, we don't want that. We didn't like that. And it's not the only time that he's been vocal about different things. When it came for Olympic time, after he won a ring, he was left off the Olympic team. And nobody, they don't talk about it. Nobody really knows why. It's like, here it is. This guy is performing. And directly after being successful with his performances, he's getting shafted. And this now is more than one time. I'm talking about traded to the Sixers for peanuts, traded to the Sixers for podcast P, because he is no longer playoff P, podcast P, and picks. The 3 Ps. What are we doing? But I hope he uses this as motivation. I hope he uses this. I hope he has like his Kendrick moment where he just goes in the dark and comes back out swinging. I'm talking about I want Jaylen Brown to lead the league in points next year. I want him to lead the league in points next year. I think he can do it. I think he's got the motivation to do it. And I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. He is going to ball out next year. I can almost guarantee it. I see it coming. I see it coming. Now, also, I'm going to backtrack to the Lakers. The Lakers also, they got Colin Sexton and they also got Quentin Grimes from Philadelphia. And I think that's a good pickup too. He could either come off the bench for them or low-key start. You got Luka playing the point guard. You got Austin Reeves playing the shooting guard. Quentin Grimes could come in and be that small forward for you. He could do it. He could absolutely do it. So it is going to be interesting to see the Lake Show over there. But as I said, they over there trying to look like the Great White Hope. For real. These are all just jokes. I don't really care. Like I said before, talent is talent. But they over there, who do you think you are? All right, but I hope you all enjoyed that. I'm gonna keep talking about this stuff as it goes on. I got a couple people I didn't talk about. I didn't talk about Mo Wagner. Mo Wagner is gonna go over from the Orlando Magic to the Brooklyn Nets. I think that's a good pickup for the Nets. The Nets look like they're trying to do something to get back into the playoffs too. Kelly Oubre signed with the Pacers. Kelly Oubre's about to get his chance to potentially be a starter. We shall see. He played pretty well for the 76ers coming off the bench. He's one of those energy guys as well. I always thought that he had the talent to be a starter, and I still think that he could. So, they're rebuilding over there in the Pacers. So we'll see. But once again, I'm going to talk about this stuff as more news comes in. I kind of skipped over a couple of things, but I'll come back to those maybe either tomorrow or Friday. I'm also going to be putting out my recording tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but I had some things come up. And to be quite honest with you, I really wanted to hop on the stream and talk about this stuff. But be on the lookout because, as I said before, I will be doing a recording tomorrow. And then I just got to get it edited and posted. We back into the series. Aaron Animal, I'm about to answer your question right quick. He said, who you think is the biggest underdog? In terms of teams, so I don't know about the biggest underdog. Right now, I'd probably say the Cavs because I don't know what they're doing. They haven't done a whole lot in terms of free agency acquisitions. They've let go of a couple players. They let go of Keon Ellis. They let go of Dean Wade, and Dean Wade went to Philly. I think they're trying to make room for LeBron, but my only thing is like you kind of banking on LeBron to come to Cleveland. And you know what happened last time? The decision. And the decision did not go well for the Cavs. It did not. At least we still got Donovan Mitchell. James Harden, he opted out of his deal, said he would take less money. So I don't know. I would say the Cavs are a big underdog right now. Another big underdog, let's say out the East, and they might be a sleeper team. I would say it's the Atlanta Hawks. They made some nice pickups. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do something next year. Would not be surprised. Now that Philly has made this move, I want to see what Philly does. I think they could be like second in the league. I don't know what Boston's gonna do. I don't think Boston is gonna be as good as people think that they will. I think we're gonna see that Jaylen Brown really was Batman. And although Jason Tatum is gonna have his opportunity to perform and to shine, I don't know if it's going to lead to a positive outcome. I think he might be able to get you like close to, high 20s, maybe 30 points per game. But is it going to equal wins? That's what I don't know. Because they've let go of a couple key pieces as well. So that's who I don't know about on the East. Also Miami. Because even though they got Giannis, they don't have much else. It's Giannis and Bam, and who knows what they about to do. On the West, though. I got a couple of underdogs, I'm talking about Portland Trailblazers. Hey, Ja Morant went to the Portland Trailblazers. And now they're starting to build up a little bit of a team. So they could be a little sleeper team in the West. Damian Lillard is coming back next year. He's been looking good. There was a video of him shooting in the gym. And I mean, he was coming off the screen pretty nice. That 3-ball still working, so I don't know. There's some other players, some other movement going on. Oh, I forgot. Toronto is another one. Because if they finalize this deal, so Toronto, I don't know if you heard about this, Air, but Toronto is making a play to get Kawhi Leonard again. And all they got to do is sign on the dotted line. So that's pretty much done. It's almost a done deal. It was reported by Shams, and if it's reported by Shams, it's real. So that's almost a done deal, which is interesting. So they might be nice too. Like the East is about to look real good. That's all I can say on that one. The East is about to look real good, especially after all these moves that just got made. Oh, it's about to get interesting. So I almost forgot about Toronto. So now I got to rethink everything, honestly, because, okay, so number one, I'm thinking either Philly or I don't think New York is going to be number one for some reason, I don't think they're going to get number one, even though they were the champions. Yeah, man. Yeah, Toronto going after Kawhi again. So, with this pickup of Jaylen Brown, let's say I think Philly might get either number one or number two. I'm gonna say New York might be 3 or 4. New York might be 3 or 4. Toronto is gonna be in the mix in there somewhere. I said that Atlanta could fuck around and get 3rd or 4th spot as well. That's about 4 teams right there. I think Boston, I think they're going to be in the lower half. They're going to be 6 through 8. They're going to be 6 through 8. And then, we got Cleveland. Now, we need to see what Cleveland's going to do. If Cleveland gets LeBron James and they're able to keep the big men, as in Mobley and Jared Allen, I might put Cleveland back at number 1. Especially if we can get somebody who's serviceable. If we can get like a Jonathan Kuminga and convince him to come off the bench for LeBron James, I think we can secure that number 1 spot. I think we can do it. We'd have to pay a lot of money. But LeBron was like, y'all can give me the veteran minimum. So we'd actually save money on LeBron. James Harden take a pay cut. We save money on him. Donovan's already getting paid. Mobley's already getting paid. I don't know if Mobley is still going to get his incentive money from his Defensive Player of the Year. Jared Allen's getting paid. So those contracts are pretty much locked in. But if we can get Kuminga for like not a low ball deal, but just like, hey man, wait till we win the championship type of deal, that would be cool. Anybody who could play that backup. And I might throw Cleveland at number 1, but that's only if we can get LeBron James. That's only if we can get LeBron James, keep our 4 guys, and get somebody who's going to be a good backup for LeBron. That sounds like a lot. So I'm not exactly sure. To answer your question, who's the biggest underdog? Everybody's the biggest underdog right now because we don't know, because there's so much player movement. I ain't even talk about Miami and where they going to be. Because with Giannis and Bam, they going to do something. They might be 5. They might get the 5 spot. But it's looking like, man, and then I forgot, where's the Wizards going to be at? If the Wizards keep Anthony Davis, and they got Trae Young, and they just got AJ DeBansa, where they going to be at in the mix? This is going to be interesting. As I think about it more, this is going to be interesting. Then you got Orlando. Orlando's probably going to be at the bottom somewhere. They're probably going to be at the bottom somewhere. They still don't have a point guard either. I don't know what Detroit is about to do, because it's looking like Detroit's about to just blow their whole team up. And so who knows what's about to happen with them. That's 8 teams right there. Charlotte ain't about to do shit because Charlotte just got rid of LaMelo Ball. And, I mean, they picked up some people, but not anybody who's getting them to the playoffs. I might do that next stream. So next stream, I think I'm going to look at all the free agents, and I'm also going to look at all these teams. And I'm going to give y'all my predictions on who's going to do what and where they're going to land. But now I will say this. It's going to have to come with a little bit of a caveat, because some of these teams, we don't know where they at. I don't know what the Cavs are doing yet because they haven't secured LeBron James. LeBron James hasn't said that he is signing with the Cavs yet. He's still listening to them plus 12 other teams or however many other teams. So we don't know about them yet, but, you know, there's a lot of other teams we don't know about. But I'm going to make some predictions on what's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be what some of these are going to be hot takes. I don't think it's going to be what everybody expects. That's what I can tell you. I think that this is going to be a complete shakeup of certain teams. I think the West is going to be a little bit more predictable. You're going to have a couple of, surprises out the West, but the West is going to be more predictable. But the East, who knows? Because there's just been so much movement. All right, but before we head out, I want to show y'all, man, this video of Dame was kind of nice. Dame out there balling. Look like that Achilles is healing pretty nicely. Moving good. The jumper is pure. The jumper's always there, though. I mean, he just came off that 3-point contest win. But I like to see this. This is the one thing that I kind of like about social media. You know, before you didn't have social media, so you didn't just necessarily see guys in the gym. You didn't have access to their practice time because, you know, they couldn't just bring a camera crew every single day. But I do like this part of social media. We do get to see some of these guys getting their shots up. Now, is that a predictor of what they're going to do in the season? Absolutely not. But somebody like Dame, who's coming off of a season-ending injury, and he didn't play all of last season, I like to see this. I like to see the ball go in the hoop for him. I think the league is a lot better with Damian Lillard in it. I think you all can agree. I think we all can agree. So, you know, hey, shout out to Dame. I hope you play well this year, brother. I hope you play well this year. I want to find my one little video of some highlights before we end it on out. I got something else I want to talk about too, but I think I'm going to wait on that. I might do that as like a standalone video because it's that important. But let's watch some best of Amari Stoudemire highlights. Now this man was a problem. I might be aging myself, but I don't care. Amari Stoudemire was a problem, especially when he played for the Phoenix Suns. I mean, he was dunking on everybody. So we going through the top 10. Ugh. Look at that block. Shout out to Amari. Woo! Ooh, that was nasty. Oh, hold on. Oh, I gotta do it like that. Do you see that? That was nasty. Oh, you getting blocked. Yep. You getting blocked. Wow, what a block. It's crazy when guys block dunks, though. Good. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Y'all tripping on me now. Y'all gonna switch the video on the shot, though. Boy, that was an ugly jump shot, but he made it, though. He fixed that in his career. Now, this was back. This is why Steve Nash won MVP. When you can make passes like that all day and you got a guy who's just finishing at the rim like that, that's how you get MVP, and you only average like 14 points a game. This was his rookie year. My goodness. That was off 2 feet. No running start. None of that. Just, ugh. On your head. Get out my way. Move, I lift. That was impressive. Ugh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Knocked him out of bounds. Knocked him out of bounds from the circle. Get out of my way. Oh, yeah. I don't even know if I would call that number 1. I don't know. But that was mean. That was mean. Shout out to Amari Stoudemire. I thought everybody would like those highlights. So, shout out to everybody who came through. Thank you for watching. Recap real quick. We talked about the Lake Show. We talked about all their acquisitions. Are they going to be the great white hope of the league? You know, at first it was Cooper Flagg, and now it's the Lake Show. We going to see. We talked about LeBron a little bit more. Where is he going to go? Hopefully to the Cavs, but the Cavs got some moves to make otherwise. And we also talked about the Jaylen Brown trade. Jaylen Brown got shafted in my personal opinion. He got shafted in my personal opinion. But I hope he comes out next season with a vengeance. The Vengeance of Batman. That's what next season should be titled for him. The Vengeance of Batman. But shout out to everybody who came through. Hey, we actually hit over 100 views. Hey, yo. All right. I'm going to have to do something special for this stream. We hit over 100 views tonight. Hey, yo. That's what's up. Thank you all for coming. Shout out to you all. Hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. We building each other up over here. We working over here. And I hope you all enjoyed this episode, this live reaction stream. Make sure you check us out. Come and check out everything we got going on. That's CuratedSenseLLC.com. Check us out here at Curated Topics. And as I said before, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Shout out to all my current subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you all. Shout out to all the feedback that I've been getting. I appreciate that as well. But as I always say, I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace. Happy hump day. Well, hump day is over. It's after 12, but y'all check out the outro music. Y'all check out the outro music that I'm about to put on for y'all. Tell me how you like it. Deuces.